I do ask for your forgiveness for my absence in between these videos. I know they are not of a quality that would require such long periods of inactivity. I shall rectify this. As many of you know, I am an aspiring writer. Today I shall be discussing more about my work. So many of you are already familiar with the War to End All Wars timeline, but for those of you who are not, I shall elaborate. The timeline has been written by yours truly, as well as a few others, good friends of mine, comrades of a rare and respectful sort. A basic rundown of the timeline will go like this. The Library of Alexandria is never burnt, Gothic architecture never dies out, and an island the size of Sicily exists on the Black Sea. Anyway, Russia wins the Crimean War. However, well, actually I wouldn't just put it like that. I guess you can say a variety of other things also occur, but to sum it up, the main things that make it different from our timeline is that. Anyway, Russia winning the Crimean War is something of an odd statement, I suppose, because this version of the Crimean War, Britain and France pull out, Austria enters, and Russia, Austria, and Greece fight the Ottomans over control of the Balkans. After this, a series of wars erupt in Germany, an early Franco-Prussian War and Austro-Prussian War. Shortly afterward, the American Civil War begins. Also, I'd like to add, those wars end with a German Empire very similar to the one we know today. Used to know, I suppose you could say. Anyway, the American Civil War begins, and the Confederacy receives help from many European powers. France is one of them, of course, a few others, Russia, Austria. Now, while this is occurring, the Union gets support from the rival powers of France and such at this time, which would be the newly formed German Empire and the British Empire. So, this war is this timeline's version of World War I, which is also the American Civil War, and kind of results in like a great technological boost, you could say, pushing the technology from the 1860s into that of the 1900s. Of course, this is a diesel-punk, somewhat fantasy timeline, so some remissions and additions should be expected. Anyway, a few years after this war is declared, the Allies, which would be the US, Britain, and Germany, lose the war. A few years later, Russia, Greece, and Austria unite into the Nova Roman Empire, after successfully unifying the Catholic and Orthodox churches. The Middle East, for them, the Qajar Empire, and most of the region is invaded by a new caliphate, who is a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. The Qajar are at war with this fellow for a decent bit, and shortly before this, Persia has a small bit of a socialist uprising, but that's by the by. In the Americas, civil strife erupts as the post-war government operates from Canada, what remains from the British monarchy in the Union, has merged into one government, but it's failed to provide meaningful support to its people, resulting in another revolution. Now, this is a brief overview of the tale. If you wish to know more, do let me know, I can make more videos. The unholy hollow, my good sir, is removed from most of these events. So, remember that island in the Black Sea I told you about? Altareshka is its name. It is the only old Rus state that never fell to the Mongols. Well, if you can even call anything in Rus a state, it's supposed to be a city-state. Anyway, never fell to the Mongols. It was liberated by the Kazakh Hetmanate in 1657. The island itself is ethnically Ukrainian, of course. The people speak a dialect of Ukrainian with Balkan influence, incorporating elements of Turkish, Bulgarian, Serbian, and Romani, aka Gypsy, into their dialect. Altareshka is now under the jurisdiction of the Russian Tsardom, within the Roman Empire, of course. Its capital is Novakiv. It is considered one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. It's Many churches and castles are a testament to its people's unique architectural style. One notable city on the island is Dushmanogorod, whose name in the local language means city of enemies / city of demons. It is an ancient, cold, heavy city with a storied past. It wears the weight of its history upon itself. Although it once flourished, its countless stone buildings now stand abandoned. For centuries, the city was believed to have a weakened veil separating the supernatural world from the corporeal realm. This came to a head when its boyar, Simeon Dukov, dedicated his life to study of the occult. For 40 years, he delved into unnatural knowledge, from things as basic as medieval alchemy to Solomonic demonology. He summoned forth the dead gods of Slavic past, and tore apart the veil of separation from the unnatural world. In doing so, he unleashed the very forces of hell. Before he can be brought to justice, he took his own life. Now, both the church and Roman government are searching for a reliable heir. They've selected one of his nephews, who currently resides in America. The nephew has been sent to Dushmanogorod, accompanied by church pay, armed guards, and the promises of riches. His mission is to cleanse this land of demonic corruption, to bring the light of holy crusade to this darkened place, and to make holy this unholy hollow. So, basic introduction there. Some things I'd like to add on is that it is a, well, I suppose you could say gothic horror, or just like gothic in general. Horror is a very big portion of it, I'd like to say. Diesel punk as well. Funny enough, I had been writing this story long before I knew about Trench Crusade. Trench Crusade actually I got into because I was looking for diesel punk art to inspire me further for this. So thank God for Trench Crusade. Also, I will be making more Trench Crusade videos. I may also be doing some lore videos for my own projects, but predominantly this will stick to being a Trench Crusade channel.